In today's video, we're going to be trying to predict the entire WWE Hall of Fame class of 2025. Thing is, I did this exact same video last year trying to predict the WWE Hall of Fame class of 2024. And although I got a couple of right, I was entirely off on most of them. And one of my particular picks aged like fine milk because I suggested that maybe in 2024, Vince McMahon gets inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. And yeah, we all know how that turned out. So I'll give you my predictions, why I think these individuals deserve to be in the WWE Hall of Fame, and then we can discuss whether or not I'm crazy. And yes, folks, I am still on vacation, which is why I'm still wearing the same shirt, why I still look the same from the last couple of videos. But even though I'm on vacation, we're still uploading, baby, because as always, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, ring the bell for notifications. If you're a wrestling fan, I know you're gonna fall in love with this YouTube channel because we always upload daily wrestling content. Like I said, even on vacation, we never stop. All right, let's jump into it. Let's start things off by somebody that is long overdue to be added to the WWE Hall of Fame class, that being the late great Umaga. I already think that the WWE is on its way to get the gears moving to induct Umaga into the WWE Hall of Fame class this upcoming year because they just signed Armando Alejandro Estrada to a WWE Legends contract. I'm sorry, I didn't say that properly. It's Armando Alejandro Estrada. Yeah, that's better. And for those that don't know, Armando Alejandro Estrada was Umaga's manager during that incredibly dominant, scary run of Umaga in the Ruthless Aggression era. And of course, with how prominent the bloodline is, the Anoa'i family is in the world of the current day WWE, it makes sense to have Umaga be one of those major headliners and one of those major pieces from the Anoa'i family that's missing from the WWE Hall of Fame. I adored Umaga. He was one of my favorite wrecking crews from the WWE Ruthless Aggression era. To me, he still gave Cena one of the greatest matches in Cena's wrestling career with that unbelievably good last man standing match at the Royal Rumble. It's unfortunate that his career was cut short due to his health and of course his early passing, but the little time that we did have with Umaga in the WWE, and then before that when he was a member of the 3-Minute Warning, was fantastic. And clearly the WWE and the Anoa'i family still model a lot of what happens in today's wrestling based on what Umaga did. Like really, look at Solo Sikoa as a perfect example. And if you're a fan of the indies, his son Zilla Fatu are like reimaginings of Umaga. And that's because Umaga set the pace as to how to be this type of awesome character, an awesome imposing force in professional wrestling. How is this guy not already in the WWE Hall of Fame? We're talking about War Games William Regal, who not only is a fantastic on-screen character as a general manager when he was the general manager of NXT, but on top of that, he was a fantastic professional wrestler in his own right. A guy that's been everywhere and anywhere at this point when it comes to professional wrestling. NXT, WWE, AEW, WCW. This guy is just a mainstay of professional wrestling and one of the best professional wrestlers in ring that I've personally ever seen. Sure, I think it's a fair criticism to say that he doesn't necessarily have the biggest laundry list and resume of singles accolades, but the accolades that he did win really felt incredibly meaningful. I think a great example of that is how good he was as the King of the Ring. In fact, I firmly believe that William Regal is one of the greatest, if not arguably the greatest King of the Ring of all time. But whether he was a menacing singles force, whether he was Eugene's manager or caretaker, whether he was King Booker's lackey, everything that this guy did was just genuinely awesome. And of course, we know that he's had a hand in shaping the current generation of superstars with his time in NXT, where he helped mold the next generation of WWE superstars at the time. So to me, William Regal should have already been in the WWE Hall of Fame long ago, but now is as good a time as any to pull the trigger and add William Regal to this class. Today's video is sponsored by the amazing folks over at Factor. Factor makes meeting your nutrition goals easier than ever by delivering fresh, never frozen, dietitian-approved meals right to your doorstep. Factor takes the stress out of meal planning and sets you up for nutritional success. Skip the grocery stores, prep work, and cooking fatigue. Instead, get chef-crafted, dietitian-approved meals delivered right to your door with over 35 meals to choose from per week from different options like keto, calorie calorie smart, vegan, veggie, and more. Personally, Factor helps me cut down on grocery trips and cooking overall so that there's more time for me to do my favorite outdoor activities like walking my little wiener dog, Dwayne the Dog Johnson, going to the gym, or making time to upload all of these daily videos that I do for you. When things get hectic, Factor is flexible. Change your order up every single week with plans from 4 to 18 meals per week, or pause them or reschedule the deliveries altogether. That part is really handy for me because I've been traveling a lot recently, so being able to pause those deliveries and starting them back up when I'm back is beautiful. Slightly more future Santi here. I am traveling right now, and thanks to the flexibility of Factor, I was able to pause my meal deliveries while I'm away. But then the meal deliveries start right back up when I land. That way I can continue my journey with my nutritional goals. So folks, get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month's of orders using my link. You can click the link that's in the description or scan the QR code that's right now on the screen to get this discount. If this is a service that you've ever been interested in, please use my link. It supports my channel and allows me to do this as often as I do. But big shout out to the folks at Factor for sponsoring today's video. Let's get back into it though. You know, when it comes to William Regal, I said, how is this guy not in the WWE Hall of Fame? Let me say that again. How in the world is Victoria not in the WWE Hall of Fame? She was somebody that I had in last year's video as somebody that should be inducted into the Hall of Fame last year, and I'm gonna add her again because 100% she is one of the most important women's wrestlers in the history of the WWE, and frankly, she just doesn't get enough love. One of the things that I always say is that in the Ruthless Aggression era, it wasn't just Lita and Trish and Lita. Those are the two women that get all of the love and attention from wrestling fans as the two pioneers of amazing women's wrestling, but there was always a third person in there that does not get enough attention. In my opinion, it shouldn't be Trish and Lita. It should be Trish, Lita, and Victoria when it comes to the pioneers and the torch carriers of women's wrestling in the Ruthless Aggression era. She was one of the most dominant women's champion in the WWE, in my opinion. Just in her time in the WWE, had a Hall of Fame worthy run, and then she goes on to TNA, and then in my opinion has another Hall of Fame worthy run over there. So she's also not just a great example of an amazing women's wrestler, but she was also the blueprint that you could go somewhere else and have a lengthy, successful career that isn't under the umbrella of the WWE. And that's not something that a lot of people were doing back in the day. Not only did she have amazing matches, but she was also a fantastic character as she played that demented psychopath during her awesome WWE Women's Championship run that culminated in a fantastic triple threat match against Jazz and Trish Stratus at WrestleMania 19. Like, I'm telling you, Victoria does not get enough love from fans today. There should be a picket line of people in front of WWE headquarters demanding that Victoria gets added into the Hall of Fame this year. I could see this happening. I've got the Hardy Boys going in as a tag team into the WWE Hall of Fame. We've seen this time and time again. WWE including tag teams as part of their Hall of Fame inductions. We saw it last year, and I think that we're going to see it again. And I feel like right now, one of the big glaring omissions from tag team wrestling in the Hall of Fame is the Hardy Boys. We already have the Dudleys in there. I think it's time to get the Hardys in there as well. And I know that there's already a lot of rumblings of the Hardy Boys coming to WWE. We know that they have strong ties and connections with TNA. WWE has those connections with TNA. Maybe it's possible that we can make this happen as early as this year. I know that there will be people screaming that we should get Jeff Hardy in there as a single star, and I think to a degree you might be right, but let's just take the first step of getting these guys into the Hall of Fame as a tag team, which is where they originally first made their name as one of the greatest, most iconic tag teams in the history of this sport. Yes, I do believe that there is strong merit for both of them individually to enter the Hall of Fame, but let's get them in as a tag team first. The Divas era of professional wrestling was rough for women's wrestling, and one of the few beacons of hope and light was Michelle McCool. The problem with the Divas era of women's wrestling is that women's wrestling at the time was just sort of seen, frankly, sadly, as a bathroom break where they would only get 2 to maybe 4 minutes per match. And Michelle McCool was unfortunately part of that era, but in the time that she did get to shine, she was one of the brightest stars in the women's division at the time. Michelle McCool, alongside the likes of like Beth Phoenix and Natalya, were really the torchbearers and the trailblazers as like great professional wrestlers in an era where the WWE didn't really want them or see them as professional wrestlers in the first place. So even with the tiny opportunities that she got, not only did she have great matches, and she's still great to this day, by the way, she's still in amazing shape, but she also carved out a legacy by being one of the most memorable WWE Women's Champions and WWE Divas Champions in WWE history as well. In terms of a celebrity inductee, frankly, it is shocking that Cyndi Lauper is not yet in the WWE Hall of Fame. My understanding is that she's been invited time after time after time, but it just hasn't worked and it hasn't been the right time, so she's rejected all of the invitations. When it comes to a celebrity in the history of the WWE, there's very few that have had the same significant impact in the WWE product as Cyndi Lauper. She was a significant player in giving WrestleMania that mainstream appeal that it had, and to me, it always felt like she wasn't just there for a quick one-off. Like, she participated in WWE programming numerous times and even helped elevate professional wrestling outside of wrestling TV when she accepted her awards alongside Hulk Hogan as her bodyguard. At this point, every celebrity that's had ties with the WWE up until this point has already been inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame. The only one that's missing is the legendary Cyndi Lauper, and I feel like WWE should do everything in its power to get Cyndi into the Hall of Fame as soon as possible. And my last inductee for this year, I think, should be John Cena. I do believe that there's a strong case for this headliner to be Bray Wyatt, but because of John Cena's retirement tour, I feel like it's best suited for Cena to be the headliner in this particular class. You could really make the argument that maybe Cena should be inducted after his retirement tour and not before. But the thing is, we've seen with Batista, it's difficult to get movie stars to align their movie schedule with the Hall of Fame induction. And you have Cena for sure during WrestleMania season, you should pull the trigger on him. And this wouldn't be the first time that the WWE would be inducting somebody that has a WrestleMania match, that's in storylines, that's an actual performer still going on in wrestling, because we saw it with Rey Mysterio leading up to his match against Dominic Mysterio at WrestleMania 39. So there's precedent for this. On top of that, a Hall of Fame induction for John Cena will just make his final run feel even more special. So I really believe that the WWE should take advantage of the fact that they have Cena available right then and there, and they should just pull the trigger and induct him. I don't think that you need me to make the argument for John Cena. We're talking about a Mount Rushmore level guy in the history of the WWE, a guy that myself and many people consider to be the greatest of all time in the WWE. Maybe one of the best representatives, if not the greatest representative that the WWE has had. He is the Mickey Mouse of the WWE. He is what Mickey is to Disney. He is the mascot. He is the franchise. Very few people have been at the top of the mountain as the top guy in the WWE more than John Cena was. Like, this guy was the perennial top guy from 2005 all the way up to like 2016. He is the face of an entire generation of professional wrestling. He carried professional wrestling throughout its darkest, worst times, in my opinion. He's my personal favorite. He's my GOAT. And I believe that 2025 is the year that WWE should induct John Cena. All right, folks. Those are my 7 inductees. It's possible that 7 might be overshooting and that the WWE only inducts 5 because it's getting more difficult to get into the WWE Hall of Fame these days. But now is your chance to have a discussion with me in the comment section. I'm going to be in there. I want to know who you believe should be in the WWE Hall of Fame this year, and if you feel like any of my choices were wrong. Let's have a discussion in there. But that's it, folks. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm done. Get out of here.